In this video, we're looking at finding intervals of increase and decrease on curves. In our first example, we have a function and we would like to find where it increases and where it decreases. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the derivative. So if we take the derivative, f prime of x, we would get x squared minus x minus 12. You then set that equal to 0. Solve. In this case, we can factor this as x minus 4, x plus 3, giving us possible x values of 4 and negative 3. Now, 4 and negative 3, we'll find out later, are potential maxima or minima, but we can do a sign test to find out increasing and decreasing. Now, a graph is going to increase when the first derivative is positive or greater than 0, decrease when the first derivative is negative or less than 0. So let's go ahead and check something to the left of negative 3, like negative 4. Easiest place to plug that in is the factored part of your first derivative. So if I plug in a negative 4 for the x's, I would get a negative number times a negative number, which is a positive number. Means on the interval from negative infinity to negative 3, the graph is increasing. And we would say increasing from negative infinity to negative 3. Choosing something between negative 3 and 4 might be 0. We plug in again for the x values. We get a negative times a positive, which is a negative. So the graph is decreasing on the interval from negative 3 to 4. So we could come over and say decreasing from negative 3 to positive 4. Lastly, if we check something to the right of 4, like 5, plug in again to our x values, we would get a positive times a positive would be a positive. So the graph is increasing on the interval from 4 to infinity. So we come over here and we include with a union symbol the 4 to infinity. Now, how do we know that the graph is increasing? Again, because the first derivative is positive. How do we know the graph is decreasing? Again, the first derivative is negative or less than 0. Let's do one more example. In this problem, again, same steps. We take our first derivative, x squared minus 8x plus 16, set it equal to 0. Solve again by factoring. This time we get x minus 4, x minus 4, or x minus 4 squared equal to 0. Well, our x value would be 4. Now, when we go to do our sign test, if we're paying attention, anything that's squared becomes positive. Since a squared term is always positive, we know even if we want to test left and right, our result is always going to be positive. So the interval from negative infinity to 4 is positive. The interval from 4 to positive infinity is positive. So we can go ahead and say our interval of increase, negative infinity, positive infinity, first derivative is positive.